I hope that might have made it because that was around the 30-second mark. We'll
Oh,
see.
nah, I gotta be tested for possible internal bleeding because my iron levels are low. So,
Oh.
Ah, you and I both, brother. You and I
Hmm.
both. I have the same issue.
Yep.
All right. Well, we should be live on YouTube. So
Well,
I hope
hello.
that
I don't
might have
have a
made
camera
it
because I'm
because
in
that,
bed and I'm in my PJs. So
you know, for those of you that are in the YouTube chat, give me a yay or an A on both my audio and everybody else's audio. My audio streams on this mic and their audio streams all on a different stream. So can you hear me and can you hear these guys? Steve, say something so we get a test.
Oh, I just
hello.
heard.
Hello. I don't have a camera because
Yeah, it looks like it's all good.
I just heard I'm in my PJs thing. So
yeah. All right. Yeah. So obviously, this is another patrons chat, right? For those hanging out in the YouTube. I typically do these once a month, last Sunday of the month, typically when I try to schedule these just to keep it consistent. This month, I don't really have a lot of news. I was mentioning before the stream started, I had some computer issues the last couple of weeks, which kind of took me down a little bit here at the office as far as interrupted me being able to do what I wanted to do on my computer, making some of the videos I had planned to make, I couldn't make, because I couldn't actually install software on my computer for about 2 weeks. I couldn't update my Arch Linux machine for about 2 weeks. Yeah, so obviously I rent an office here. This office building has about 10 office suites, and it's got a network here. It's got a little closet with a switch and a router and a firewall and everything, and I do have access to that equipment as far as physical access, but they pushed an update, the IT people that service this, they pushed a remote update to the firewall that they have that I guess this update was just very aggressive, had some GeoIP stuff that basically it blocked a whole bunch of countries around the world from me being able to connect to their websites, including Germany, which is where all the Arch Linux website and repos are hosted. Denmark, which is where like distrowatch.com is hosted. And then, certain programs have to connect to the internet, right? They have to make outside connections. So certain pieces of software just wouldn't work because they're trying to connect to places around the world that are blocked by the firewall. And that caused me some issues. It took me a day or two before I figured out what the problem was, because initially, when certain websites work, certain websites don't work, what's the first thing you usually think of? For me, I was thinking, well, it's a DNS problem. My configs are screwed up or something, So I go and, play around with Network Manager and, System D, Network D, and things like that. And I realize after playing with this stuff for, a couple hours, it all looks good. Like nothing is, it took me forever. And finally, what I ended up doing when I pulled out my phone, I was like, well, let me see if the other people on Arch Linux are having a problem. Maybe it's not a me problem. Maybe it's their servers or something. So I go to archlinux.org on my phone. It won't come up on my phone because my phone's connected to the Wi-Fi here, the same network. And then it dawned on me.
DDoS.
That's the firewall here that's blocking every. Yeah.
Right. Oh, it's the firewall. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So. Well, I was gonna say in Lebanon the same thing is happening. The government, the ISPs, not the government, the ISPs pushed an update, and now I cannot access my Irish banking app. I cannot access Ko-Fi. I cannot access a lot of websites. I talked to them. They keep for whatever reason, their technical people are like, we don't know. We're here to assist you if you have any technical problems. I'm like, this is a technical problem. They're like, no, it's not a technical problem. We don't know. So until it's been 2 years. And they haven't fixed it yet. Yeah. So,
and I don't know if you've ever contacted any kind of support or any kind of IT support for anything, but when you call and mention that you're running a Linux computer,
yeah, that's exactly another problem.
They're like, because I had the guys like, well, what's the problem? Well, you guys push out an update to your firewall, and it's blocking all of the repos for Arch Linux, so I can't update my Linux computer, my Arch Linux computer, and said that's a problem. It basically renders my computer useless, right? And he was like, oh, well, I really don't know anything about Linux. It's like, and you know, it's an IT company, and they service a lot of office buildings and things. I was like, you've never seen a Linux computer? Like, no, you're the first person that ever called me and said he ran Linux. I was like, oh,
yeah,
like,
that's
do you have a boss, but you don't have a supervisor? Because chances are he'll know. It's like, well, yeah, I'll get somebody to call you back. I was like, yeah, please do.
Well, I was actually surprised with when I did Verizon and I had issues and stuff. I'd mentioned Linux, and the IT support girl on the phone, she says, well, yeah, I've messed with Linux a little bit, but I haven't quite, you know, got settled in to have a machine with it. And I was like, you are cool.
Yeah. You know, I've had pretty good luck with like, you know, taking a Linux computer to Best Buy to the Geek Squad, and like everybody there knew what Linux was.
Well, that's rare.
Yeah.
Most of the ones around here, all they know is you need to install WebRoot, you need to install AVJ antivirus, you need to put in this program that comes with your computer. You need to reinstall that. You shouldn't have never took it off.
yeah, exactly. This is an inherent problem that needs to be taken care of, because a lot of IT support they are stuck on Windows. Like, but there is no such thing as Apple support, except you have to call Apple itself. There is no general Apple support.
Well, I imagine that this company, you know, installs all these routers and firewalls and stuff for businesses. You know, most people are, when you talk about enterprise operating systems, it's all about Microsoft Windows, really.
Yeah, but I'm happy to see, at least I'm happy to see that some governments in the EU are starting to switch to Linux. Yeah. But unfortunately, the bigger part of the US, there's still enterprise Windows. Like the ISPs, all the ISPs in Lebanon, our ISPs are, how can I say, they're very small. They're privately owned ISPs. When I tell them, please, I use Linux, so don't give me Windows troubleshooting. Do you know Linux? They're like, we heard of it. Ubuntu, Mint. I've dabbled with it, but never used it in 10 years. So no, we cannot help you with that. So, which
Linux do you use? Do you use the purple one or the green one?
Yeah, and my biggest problem is with these ISPs, at least in Lebanon, is and as soon as I tell them that I'm using an operating system that they're not familiar with, it's a you problem. It's not an us problem. Figure it out. So and then they call me a few hours later. Yeah, sorry, our access point in area X, Y, and Z was down. Sorry for the inconvenience. It will be up in a few minutes. I'm like, I told you. They were like, yeah, but you said Linux. We are not familiar with Linux. So how are we to tell that the problem is from us? We need to. The world needs to fix that problem. There is something other than Windows on planet Earth that people use. Yeah. So figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand some people not really supporting Linux or knowing much about it. But when you call like an internet company or an IT company, networking kind of company, like how in the hell have you never heard about Linux? Like,
yeah,
you have had to see a Linux server before you got your job, I hope, right? So.
Yeah, and the which brings us to the AWS downtime.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, I didn't notice it because I was here in Serbia, busy taking care of my health. I don't use the computer that much. I just sit and watch like I'm doing now, 24, for the second time. And a little bit of Star Trek, the original series, but I haven't messed with the internet much. But it's been. I guess it was a big deal. I don't know.
Well, some people that I knew did say it affected them or their business in some way. I didn't notice anything. Now, I am an AWS customer as far as I do store like all my audio and video files on AWS, but it didn't affect me that day because I was already having computer issues, so I wasn't making videos. So it all happened around the same time. My computer was kind of buggy anyway, so.
Yeah, it affected my security cameras, but I thought that the cat knocked over the receiver, so I wasn't really upset. So
yeah, well, I was also working on Zero Linux, doing offline stuff, but which brings me to the fact that December is going to be a heck of a month for Zero Linux. It's going to be the first time ever since its inception where I no longer rely on other people's tools on the ISO, because someone mentioned, well, okay, I shared Zero Linux on Facebook. I shouldn't have. I got torn apart, and I deserve it because I used Facebook. You should expect such things on Facebook.
Why can't you?
Well, because Facebook is a trash bin of assholes.
Well, I haven't been on Facebook in probably 8 years. I don't have an account.
I'm telling you.
I mean, I wouldn't be on it anyway, but I'm just wondering.
I'm telling you, because even though the community I decided to join on Facebook was managed, meaning that every post is scanned and basically gone through by the admins before making it becoming public. But even though it was like that, I got torn apart when I shared Zero Linux. So there was many users. Oh, it's a glorified theme. Your distro is a glorified theme. Screw you and screw your distro. So, and somebody positive did mention, like, in order to make your distro more appealing to others, why not create your own in-house tools? Yep. Like CachyOS, for example. CachyOS have a ton of tools created in-house. So I was like, okay, I met someone on Discord on a friend of mine's server. He's a developer. He's a kid. He's 20 years old or something. He's a pretty gifted developer, Rust developer. So we got in touch, and now he's officially a part of Zero Linux. He's the very first person to join Zero Linux after the passing of my good friend Muhammad, who passed away during the war. His building got shot by a missile, but RIP Gamer King. But he's the very first one. After I was reluctant about people joining the team after his passing, but he is so gifted that he helped me create a fingerprint scanner GUI, which doesn't exist on Arch. Nothing like it exists on Arch. There's one tool that has been deprecated for the past 8 years. So nobody thought about creating another one. So we created another one for Zero Linux. And in the future, we're going to have a GUI toolkit, which will have a kernel manager. It's going to have a front end for game scope. It's going to have various other tools, but and SCEDEX, specifically SCEDEX, because I see a lot of people saying that one of the best advantages of CachyOS is the fact that you can change the kernel scheduler, optimizing it for gaming, optimizing it for content creation and whatnot. So instead of using their tool, I was like, they have a very advanced wiki documentation. So why don't we use the information we learned from their wiki and create our own tool for SCEDEX? It's going to be part of the kernel manager. So we're working on that. We don't know when it's going to come out, but the initial version of the GUI toolkit will be part of the December release of Zero Linux. And the future will, from December onwards, whenever we get I'm the idea guy. He's the developer behind my ideas. So I get an idea. I ask him if he can pull it off, and if he's willing to pull it off, because I'm not the type of maintainer person who forces other people to work for him. I'm like, I just suggest the idea, and the first question is, other than can you do it, is are you willing to do it? If you're not willing to do it, it's fine. We can think about something else. I don't like to force anything on anyone. So
well, the main thing is you have somebody to help you learn Rust now.
Yeah.
As you make the transition over.
Yeah, my current toolkit was written in Rust, and here's the thing: I keep saying I don't know X and Y language, but I know how to read it and modify it. Like if somebody creates something in whatever language, I read it 3-4 times over, and I start understanding how the mechanism works, and I start modifying it to suit my own needs without having to go every 5 minutes to the developer, tell them, hey, can you modify this? Can you change this? I don't like to do that. I like to, somebody gives me the initial idea I came up with, then I learn it and I start modifying it to from time to time. Like when the toolkit comes out, there will be definitely things I want to move around, like a button here, move it there, put this there. I will learn it and I will do it myself. But what I cannot do is create anything from scratch. I need someone to create something for me, initially for me, so that I can later modify.
ChatGPT.
Well, I don't. Sometimes I do use ChatGPT, but I don't use the code that ChatGPT generates. I just you know how ChatGPT explains in the end.
Yep.
How everything works. I read the end and I start modifying without looking at the code that ChatGPT generated. I just read the explanation, understand it, and then learn from that. So I'm using it to learn and go from there. This is how I'm gonna be doing Zero Linux from now on. I'm not gonna use other people's tools. That's it. I'm done. Because somebody mentioned it. He was like, you create your own tools, because if you use other people's tools, what's the advantage? They can go use that distro that includes those tools already. So I'm like, that's the first constructive criticism I've ever seen on my post on Facebook, and the only one. So that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. Learn and build in-house.
All right. Well, we'll be looking for that, I guess, in December.
Yeah, because I release every 3 months. The last release was in September. This release is coming in December. And I'm going to be, I know I said I was moving to Serbia. I must have used the wrong word. I came to Serbia to take care of my health, and then I'm going back home because I cannot live without my 3 monitors. I'm living the single monitor life right now, and it's a nightmare. I cannot live stream. I cannot do anything, and I have a lot of videos to do. I cannot do it on a single monitor. So while I'm here, there will be no videos, no live streams, no nothing, because I can't. So I'm going through Greece. I'm going to celebrate Christmas in Greece, and then from Greece back home, because there's no direct flight from here. So, but so far my health is on track. I'm seeing a chiropractor to fix my back. Because apparently I have no muscles. My muscles have atrophied because I spend so much time sitting behind the computer. So I'm doing, and he suggested if everything goes according to plan, maybe a few sessions in the gym.
It'll greatly fix your back. That was why I started working out.
Yeah,
even was wrecked.
I thought just walking would solve the problem. He was like, no, walking is part of it, but it's not it. So
you need walking helps
do
with
some
cardio.
Stretching. Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So I'm doing that, but right now it's raining, so I didn't leave the house. Well, the apartment. And that's what I've been doing as of late. Speaking of Arch Linux, I'm registered to get updates on the ARM version that's going to be officially part of Arch Linux now. They're very close to releasing the very first official ARM version. So
well,
that's good news, because my Raspberry Pi,
because Manjaro ARM has been around for like 5 years.
Yeah, and Endeavor OS OS ARM.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, they've been using the unofficial image, ARM's ARch64. So when will it be official? I registered to get updates, and apparently it's very close. because my Raspberry Pi 4 is still sitting there and having nothing on it. I'm waiting for Arch official Arch for ARM so I can install it on there. So there's that.
Dad, I noticed you had the Reese's peanut butter cup mug. I've got the same mug. I think it was a Christmas gift. Isn't that the mug that came with the brownie mix inside the mug?
I don't know, because I got it at a what you call a old timer show flea market thing. Yeah, I was helping a friend of mine.
Well, originally
do the
it came packaged with brownie mix inside the mug, so somebody ate your brownie.
I seen how big it was, and it was in good condition.
Oh yeah, it's a good mug. Yep.
Yep. Any releases in the Linux sphere?
Well, you know, I couldn't actually view Distro Watch until a couple of days ago.
LMDE7.
So I don't even know
KDE,
what was. Zorin looks like it released
6.5.
Yeah.
And
which I knew Zorin
quite
released.
a few kernel updates. 6.17 had like probably, once it went to 6.17, it had like 6 more updates.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I'm on 6.17.4. I don't know if that's the latest.
Latest is 5. Is 5.
Okay. So I need to
yeah, I'm on 6.17.5-Arch1-1.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. For the first time ever, I've been maining the Zen 3 because my CPU is a Zen 3 CPU. I've been maining the Zen 3 and I haven't seen any issues. And the Zen 3 kernel gets updated faster than the Arch one. So I'm like, more bleeding edge. Yay.
And my Debian computer over here, I just turned it on today, and it had quite a few updates. My other Arch computer, the Monolith, it had quite a few updates because I haven't updated it for a while. So, but it gave me a no. Yeah, I think it gave me one error, so I need to update it again or whatever. Update my mirrors.
Yeah, well, while I'm here in Serbia and Greece, my computer back home hasn't been updated in over 15 days. So when I get back home in December or January, it's going to give me, on my connection over there, it's going to take at least 2 hours to update.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So no, I don't want to suffer any issues because there was a grub update recently. So grub update. No, and because I have Windows.
I was about to say, it's only because you dual boot, because I never even think about updates because I only run one operating system per drive, right? If you're dual booting,
I'm dual booting on separate SSDs, not on the same SSD, but
okay.
But it's Windows, you know. Every Windows update, because I recently updated to 25H2 on Windows. Good thing it didn't kill my grub, but at any moment it will kill my grub. It will see grub on a separate drive. It's going to say, "Hey, what an intruder on a separate drive! Let's get rid of that."
There's a lot of Linux users switching back to Windows, making Windows machines or Windows partitions, mainly because of Battlefield 6.
Yeah,
everybody loves it, and it is impressive. I've watched Arch Penguin use it, and it's an impressive game. The graphics
it's very well optimized. It's very well optimized. And recently, someone donated for Zero Linux, and they asked me, "Does it support secure boot?" Because I play Battlefield 6. I'm like, it does, not out of the box, but you have to go read the Arch wiki or the CachyOS wiki. It's the same. The CachyOS just simplified the Arch wiki. They made it in. They use more lamer terms.
Yeah, because of the anti-cheat, you won't be able to use it on Linux for ages.
So I'm like,
there's not a game, I don't care how good it is, that would make me switch to Windows just to play. We've got too many damn games that I could play.
Speaking of which, it's bugged the tar out of me, especially when you was streaming the other day, and I asked, but I think it went by or whatever. I don't want to get into technical stuff. I'm playing this game. I'm enjoying the game. How did you get Diablo 2 to work? I'm just curious whether what I said helped or not.
Well, you asked me for a fresh install of the game, of the bottles.
Oh, okay.
I did that and it didn't work.
Okay.
And
well, I
then
didn't do that. Mine was about fonts.
No, I don't know what the issue was, because what I ended up doing, I was like, okay, well, I got the flat pack of bottles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even wiping out the container and reinstalling BattleNet didn't fix the problem. I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to remove the flat pack of bottles. I'm going to install the native Arch package of bottles and then run through a BattleNet install and see if that fixes the problem. It didn't, and it takes forever to download, all of that anyway. So that didn't work. I was like, well, damn, let me go ahead and install the flat pack of bottles back, because that's probably the one I want to be on anyway. But what I did is, before I reinstalled the third time, I did a purge of all the flat pack data.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then did a fresh install.
Uh-huh.
Magically, it worked.
Yeah. Well, see, I've had similar problems using flat pack Steam and native Steam. I had a situation where I installed Flatpak Steam. It was fine. It was working great. And then I think I did an update or something and it wouldn't work. So I switched back to native and it worked. And then when I went and did a complete new install and I installed the native Steam, it wouldn't work. And so I went to Flatpak and I found out that my biggest concern is to take all my game files and keep them and not have to re-download them. And so I found out that even with Flatpak, you can go to the folder, the Flatpak folder, and you can find the game files and you can just copy them into that folder and you're fine. The Steam apps folder, and it picks them up just fine.
One of the things I've noticed, because I've been playing around with Flatpaks and snaps and app images for at least 10 years or more, really since they came out. I know a lot of people hated them, especially in the beginning. But one of the problems I've always noticed with Flatpaks is that sometimes an update will break the Flatpak, or and I've had this happen too, not updating the Flatpak in a timely fashion, if it doesn't auto update, will also break the package. So, because, a lot of people imagine, well, it's a Flatpak, it should auto update, it should never break. But that's not the case at all. They actually break on a somewhat frequent basis, actually.
Right. And you also have the free desktop.org updates to the Flatpak interface, not the actual program.
The back end. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So for me,
then with app images, you got the problem of they only auto update if the person that built the app image sets it to auto update.
Oh,
so you don't know if your app images are going to update or not. You gotta go check that out.
I never app images never worked properly for me, so I just give up on them.
I keep the Kdenlive app image because it's an official build of theirs, and sometimes Kdenlive, the native package, breaks on Arch with updates. So I try to keep at least one older app image of Kdenlive around for a backup.
Yeah, well, for me, for example, I'm here. So since I'm here and I have a faster connection, I was like, why don't I download the games that I have back home and keep them up to date here and take them, when I take them back with me, I just it just downloads over network, because there's a beautiful option in Steam that allows it to detect if the games exist on another machine on the same network, and it will, instead of downloading from the internet, it will download them from Steam cache, basically. So so I installed, for example, Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. I installed BattleNet and it worked right out of the box because that machine was fresh. It had a fresh install of Zero Linux. So it had, I installed bottles for the first time yesterday or before yesterday, and the BattleNet installed just fine. And I updated it this morning. And I downloaded Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. So it went just fine. It's just the problem with bottles is they're not pushing enough updates. They're not maintaining it on a timely manner.
Yes, bottles is one that if you run into a problem where some of your games all of a sudden aren't launching, update the Flatpak of bottles, assuming you're running the Flatpak. That usually will fix.
Yeah, but they don't update it. They don't push updates to bottles very, very often. They like recently there was 3 updates, but they were minor bug fix updates. But they for the past year, this past year alone, there was maybe 6 or 7 updates. That's it. So they don't update it very often. And you notice this when you go to install the Proton GE.
Yep.
You will always see it one version behind. Always see it one version. It doesn't have the latest version. You have to wait a week or two before, oh, okay, we'll push the latest version of Proton GE. Maybe they're testing it in-house. I don't know. But they don't.
Yeah, I was about to say, does it really, do you have to be on the absolute latest?
No, but since we are arch people, we're not used to not having updates.
It pains you to wait a week.
Right? Yeah, like I get system updates like 3-4 times a day. I'm like, why isn't bottles getting updated? And speaking of developers enabling auto update in their apps, a big a big example of this is Ferdium. Ferdium, in their application, there's an updater. You go to the updater tab, you enable auto update, but on the Flatpak, it doesn't work. On the native package, it does work. So, and they are the maintainers of the Flatpak as well. So I don't know why there's a discrepancy there, because if you click update, it will simulate the update and ask you to restart the application. But when you restart the application, it's still one version behind. You have to wait for the Flatpak version to get updated, so you can download the Flatpak again, the updated Flatpak, so it gets updated. I don't know why they don't disable the updater button in the Flatpak, because it doesn't work. They don't want to go to the extra step. They just make it the same.
Yeah, for BattleNet, I still use crossover. Hey, Big Pod, I forgot to say hi to Murray too.
Oh, hey, Big Pod, Big Murray. I didn't see them.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yep.
Good morning. I've got a breakthrough with Python again. I created app images out of Python virtual environments. That took me 3 years from the time I started till I got it working. Not 3 years constantly, but by the time I got it.
Didn't they recently have a bunch of updates too?
To app images?
No, Python.
Python 3.14.
Oh, 3.14. It's not up on my. They haven't released it on my systems yet, but it's out.
Yeah.
I always know when there's a new major version, because my Arch machine is a mess afterwards.
Yeah. Especially if you use Hugo. If you use not Hugo, I mean MKDocs. If you use MKDocs, and because MKDocs is a Python thing, every time there's an update to Python, a major update to Python, since all the plugins that you installed and MKDocs itself are in Python 3.13, for example, they don't automatically get moved to 3.14. Either the package manager has to update the package and all the plugins and whatever to work on 3.14, or you have to manually copy paste them into the new Python folder, and they will work just fine.
Anything with pip-x gets updated by the system from 3.13 to 3.14. That's in your system environment.
Yeah, I don't use pip-x.
The other stuff you have to do manually. Like your virtual environments, you have to rebuild your virtual environment.
Yeah, I say that because the Python packages I installed for MKDocs for my wiki, they're AUR packages, Python dash package name.
You have to rebuild all your Python packages from the AUR.
Yeah.
If you're building virtual environments, then you have to manually rebuild them every time there's a change each year.
Same thing with
if you have 10 virtual environments, then you got to update 10 of them every year. There's a way around that on it, and one of the ways is use Miniconda to download it. It creates a virtual environment for your system, and you can decide when you create your virtual environment what Python version to put in it. It downloads the Python version into your virtual environment, and you're independent of your operating system on it.
Yeah,
and it's really a cool system. It solves a lot of things. It solves the issue of where to put your virtual environment. It has a standard location in the Miniconda environment, and it works extremely well on it. I've been using it for 2 weeks now.
For me, I just don't bother. I just use the AUR packages, because using pip-x is kind of weird, and doing the virtual environment stuff is almost too complex to go into. So I like simplicity. I just grab them from the AUR. They just install. But the AUR does not those packages for MKDoc, the plugins specifically, the plugins, they don't get updated very often. So I have to manually edit the PKG build and then rebuild and reinstall.
Well, I've noticed here in the last year or two, nowadays it seems like any Python program that you go on the internet and look at, or GitHub, GitLab, they always recommend installing through pip. They never even talk about native package managers anymore.
I noticed a ton of lib32 updates, and that's compatibility with 32-bit, right?
It is.
Yeah. But speaking of 32-bit, since I'm a distro maintainer, I have that kind of knowledge. But the latest Arch ISO, the build environment, they stripped out x80, all mentions of x86-64. Now it says, the build environment just says %Arch%. It no longer says x86-64. They buried it all. I think this is because they're starting to it's the beginning of them dropping 32-bit support. But I think that what they're going to do is for 32-bit applications, they're going to ask maintainers to bundle their 32-bit libraries within the package. So instead of having instead of Arch having to maintain all 32-bit libraries for Steam, Steam will continue to exist on Arch, but in a bundled way, like kind of like Flatpaks, but in a non-containerized fashion. So hopefully it'll go smoothly. I don't know, but this is the first indication that they're dropping 32-bit support. So
yeah, but I thought the 32-bit support in Steam was still within itself anyway.
No, they're libraries from Multilib.
Yeah, okay. When you install Steam, at least on Arch, it pulls in a bunch of.
From
Multilib. That's why they want to get rid of the Multilib repo.
But I use the Flatpak, so does that eliminate that?
Oh yeah,
Flatpak will eliminate that 100%. Yeah. It's bundled. It's a single package, so it's not like a million packages. And I noticed that with the Nvidia drivers, like when you have an Nvidia GPU and you're using, let's say, Lutris or Bottles or whatever, they pull the 64-bit and the 32-bit driver, Nvidia driver. Apparently, there are packages that completely dropped because I installed Bottles. It didn't pull the 32-bit Nvidia library anymore. It's 100% 64-bit. So.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
We can hear you, Big Pod.
Okay. Great.
You are awesome, man.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks.
So, Derek, are you doing anything more with Python? You had your Get Rich with Python app.
I've been playing around with some of those scripts because I noticed some of them were buggy. So, yeah, I've been playing around with them a little bit more, but I haven't done anything all that interesting in the last month with them.
I took a look at it, and you created a virtual environment because you had Y-Finance and Pandas and PD and Matplotlib.
Yeah.
And the only reason you need a virtual environment because they're not in the standard library.
Right.
If they were in the standard library, you could just use a script.
Yeah.
So
well, Arch complains if you don't use a virtual environment for Python scripting and for pip. You know, it wants you to use virtual environments for everything Python related.
But what I did was I, in effect, created a new standard library, an extended standard library. I put all that stuff in and another 170 packages, put it in a virtual environment, created an app image called Python 3E for extended. And in the script, you put in Python 3E, and it has all those packages built into it. So you don't have to use a virtual environment because the standard library is now extended with all those functions in it. We put about 170 in them. And then I got some from Anaconda. It had another 330. So I created a second one. So there's not 500 packages I can access from either the command line in IPython or from a script without having to create a virtual environment. So that took me a month to do instead of 3 years like the other. So
well, I could see, that being useful, especially if you're pulling in a lot of Python libraries. Luckily, I only needed 4. I just needed like NumPy, Pandas, Wi-Finance, Matplotlib. I just needed those 4. So,
but I can take examples. I can take examples from other people, like Nice GUI, and it's built in there, and Streamlit and Matplotlib. Just cut and paste them in, and then modify them, and away you go. So it's working out pretty good. It's not good for the interesting thing is about the app image. It's 1.3 gigabyte compressed, which is 4 gigabytes, and they've changed the way app images work now. They use mount loopbacks like snaps, so it's never fully decompressed. Okay. So, and it's only when you access this particular stuff it gets expanded, and they cache it. So it's really fast. It has to get my imports from a 1.1 gigabyte app image, but it does it in almost real time because it's not expanding the whole thing, and it's worked out really well. And well,
that's good because app images have kind of been lagging behind. It doesn't see the kind of development that snaps and flatpaks receive, right?
Well,
obviously it's a much smaller project.
Pro bono done something.
Just one more thing. The app image container itself is 210 kilobytes. So of that 1.3 gigabytes, 210 kilobytes is the container for the app image. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, Big Pod, you were talking about pro bono.
Finally has done something with app images.
Well, that's the problem. Got some new features obviously, there's not a corporation behind it like with the other projects, right? So it's a smaller. I'm sure it's a very tough gig to make that thing work.
If he was a nicer person, then maybe he would have more help.
Oh yeah, like
the comments of Big Pod does not reflect the comments of anybody else on the patron scan.
Speaking of which, app images, their biggest Achilles heel is they don't have a standardized location to get them from, like FlatHub. Like recently, you made a video about it. Finally, someone I know makes a video about it. But Bazaar will help. Bazaar will help Flatpaks be more used. But
I try to wait sometimes on software before I make a video about it, just to make sure it has some staying power, because there have been software centers for app images in the past, and they appear and people think they're going to be popular, and then they just fade away pretty quickly.
Yeah, right? You talked about the grayed out option that you couldn't access on the top. Well, that is because the Bazaar was created for the Bluefin project and the atomic distros. It wasn't created
actually
for
it was primarily created for Bazite, not Bluefin.
For Bazite, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was created for Bazite.
You're talking about the curated list. Yeah, I knew that was for certain distros and not for Arch, which is fine. Yeah. I don't care about having curated Flatpaks anyway.
I still use Warehouse for Flatpaks.
I do too, because Warehouse allows you to create snapshots. That's the best invention anyone would have created. But for me, I was in Zero Linux. I used to have a curated list of packages in the toolkit. In the upcoming one, the GUI version, there will be no curated. It's up to the user to install whatever they want. Who am I to create a curated list? So, and good news, DT, Zero Linux will have Vim out of the box.
Finally.
Yeah. Like I see you complaining in every distro review. Why isn't Vim available out of the box? Well, I just added it. It's just one package.
I understand. Like VI is kind of like the de facto, it's always on Unix-like operating systems, but Vim is such a small program anyway. Just give us the full Vim, because nobody likes using VI.
Yeah, it's just one package. I just added Vim to the package.
It's not a big program. Like by modern standards, it's a tiny program.
So. Yeah, and I was contemplating if I should include it with all the plugins. I was like, who cares about the plugins? Users will select the plugins
they're going to have their own configs anyway.
Yeah. So, most people will install NeoVim or NeoVide.
Most people that use Vim either use it out of the box as is, no config, which is really kind of what I do most of the time, or they're going to carry their own config with them anyway. They don't need yours.
Yeah, they're going to use NeoVide, NeoVim, or whatever. I'm like, let the users do whatever they want. I'm just going to include Vim.
Right.
And I did remove a lot of packages from the ISO, and I was considering including the drivers in Calamares for Nvidia, ATI, AMD, Intel, whatever. Then I decided, let's do it. Let's take another approach. Include them on the ISO. Include the AMD, Intel, ATI drivers on the ISO, and include a script that will detect what DGPU or iGPU is being used, one of those two, and uninstall the other package. Like if AMD is included as an iGPU or DGPU, it will uninstall the Intel ones, and vice versa. So for NVIDIA drivers, it's post-install. Doing it via Calamares is very, very, very nasty. Yep. I tried. It's very, very nasty. So for Intel and AMD, no problem. But when it comes to NVIDIA, it's going to be in the toolkit post-install.
Yeah, in the chat, we've got a question about the Arch ISO. Oh, hold on just a second.
Before that.
Shrike Linux in the chat was asking about Arch ISO not working correctly for him. He's getting an error, make boot mode, command not found. I haven't played with Arch ISO.
If he's selecting BTRFS, then yes, there's a problem. There's a problem with BTRFS.
Yeah, I haven't tried to build an Arch ISO in a few months, so I'm not sure if there's a current problem.
It's a BTRFS issue, BTRFS/grub issue.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Big Pod.
What is an effect if a driver is installed but isn't used? Let's say that you leave NVIDIA on even if you don't use NVIDIA.
I didn't say I'm going to leave any driver.
No. I'm asking you, what's the effect of that? I want to know.
What's the effect of that?
Yeah, what's the effect of leaving, let's say, an NVIDIA driver on a system that doesn't have an NVIDIA card?
Bloat.
Exactly. Exactly.
Remove that word from your vocabulary.
Well,
you can't remove the word
bloat from a Linux user's vocabulary.
I'm asking for an actual technical.
There is no actual technical explanation to it.
I've never run into any. I mean, I run NVIDIA all the time, but I did have on the monolith. I had an NVIDIA card in, and then I switched back to my AMD card, and I think the NVIDIA stuff was removed by default when it detected the AMD card.
It depends on many things, but the Big Pod, there is no technical explanation to this. It's not the technical debt or anything. It's just when you create an ISO for the masses to use, you don't want people to come and bitch. So, for the lack of a better word, so we just do them a service by removing unused packages. So.
I'm curious.
If they don't want to have that package, remove it themselves. That's you should be trying to make things work for everybody, not then dick around their system.
Like Omarchi, for example, they what's his name? HH, whatever his name is.
DHH, yes.
DHH. He includes a lot of development packages that nobody will use except people who develop. So that's why he included an option in the menu in whatever menu he's using. He added an option for remove, and the way he does it is he fuzzy finds all installed packages, and you select the package you want to remove, and you multi-select if you want, and it will uninstall all the packages you don't want, and that's that's a convenience that he added. He shouldn't have added it, but he added it so people so it's more convenient for people to remove any unnecessary packages to them. Well, so what I'm doing is the same thing. I'm adding a convenience by not adding too many packages on Zero Linux.
Well, I just went and since I had put an Nvidia card in the monolith and it's got Arch on it, and I took it out and put in an AMD GPU. I just did a search for Nvidia on my file system, and it says no files found. And I didn't do anything to it when
it depends on how distros do things. Maybe because sometimes the distro may include a script that if you install this, then you want to remove this.
Well, this was vanilla Arch is what it is. So I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. But on Zero Linux, it just won't have unnecessary drivers. I have a browser on the live environment, but once you install the system, during the installation, you can select whatever browser you want in to install in Calamares. So like Arco Linux in the olden days. So during the installation, to uninstall Falcon.
Well, I'm trying to understand. Did you have an issue, Big Pod, when you removed a card and added a card or something? Is that why you're asking about the NVIDIA?
I was wondering because to me that is just brittle shit. I wouldn't do if I was, because like that's just technical brittle shit. I wouldn't want to deal with. Removing a driver,
right,
which is completely irrelevant, completely doesn't have any effect on end user, on their system.
Yeah,
and by that I mean yes, no effect.
Yeah, I mean I could see that happening on Windows because they had to invent a remove driver thing for like the Nvidia drivers and the AMD drivers on Windows.
Yes, but there's actually a different reason for that. There is actually a different reason for that because on Windows there are certain locks and shit that when you're trying to update may not update because of those locks and stuff like that. It's actually a technically on some things much better system, but it makes certain things a lot harder to do.
Yeah.
What I think, Steve, now that you've got some Rust developers working for you and you're learning some Rust, how hard would it be to create like a GUI app, kind of like what Ubuntu does, where, you know, when you first log into the system after installing, you get the little thing that pops up. Hey, would you like us to scan for proprietary drivers, the Nvidia driver? And then all the person has to do is click OK, and it installs the Nvidia driver for them.
I was going to do that. I had an idea of creating my toolkit in two methods. Basically, the way the toolkit is going to work right now, the idea we have right now, we're still working on it, is on the live environment, it's just going to show links and then launch installer. But once the system is installed, it's going to change. It's going to become a full-on toolkit. I came up with the idea. I asked my developer if we could do it as a initial setup wizard. For because Zero Linux is an ISO that will be living on the server for 3 months. It's gonna have to update that. So basically, the user has to update before using the distro, or otherwise it's going to be severely out of date. So I was thinking of the initial wizard would be update, then the user clicks next, then it will provide them, prompt them to install the proprietary Nvidia drivers should they want to, if they have an Nvidia card.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that Arco Linux, their installer, had, when the welcome screen came up after you installed it, it had a thing where it would look for drivers and stuff for you.
Yeah, I was considering doing it as a wizard, but then we have too many options in the toolkit. I didn't want to make the toolkit one thing.
You don't even need to confuse people with choice. Just have a simple GTK window that says, "Hey, would you like us to scan your system for
that's what's going
proprietary
to happen.
drivers?" And then if they hit the OK button, you do a quick test. Is the card in the computer an Nvidia card? If it is installed,
yeah,
the Nvidia package. Right? That's all. And then tell them to reboot. Right.
Yeah. Instead of doing it the wizard way, I decided to have it on the main screen. And when they boot the system, when the toolkit actually launches, it's going to show them update and drivers, and the drivers in big bold fonts. And when they click that button, it's going to the button's going to say Nvidia. Basically, it's going to have the Nvidia logo and drivers. But no, sorry, it's not going to have the logo. It's just going to say drivers, because when they click that, it's going to pop up a message, because there's Open Razor, Open RGB, there's Piper, there's camera CTRLS, camera controls. There's a lot of things that are considered drivers, air quotes. So I'm going to put all these in this pop-up, and the NVIDIA driver big in pop-up, in the pop-up, but it's going to, when they click on it, it's going to open terminal and prompt them, which one do you want to install, the open or the closed driver? Because after 590, there will be no closed drivers. There will be only the open drivers. So, yay. Yeah, so it's going to be one single driver, because they're going to drop all the 10 series and everything completely. Well,
those are old cards now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, for now, it's going to prompt them. Once they drop the closed drivers, it's going to just, when they click the button, it's just going to go ahead and install. Mm-hmm. The reason I want to do it that way is because installing the NVIDIA drivers does not just install packages. It installs the NVIDIA drivers. It has to add the modules to MKinit CPIO. In the future, we're going to switch to Drakut. And it has to add the grub entries to blacklist Nouveau, and add the modules to grub, early load. It does multiple things. It goes through like 3 different steps. If I did it in the wizard way, the user might get confused. So I prefer it to give the user time to explore the desktop and see whatever, and then, okay, let me install the drivers now. I want to keep this distro. Let me install the drivers now. I want to give them time. So
how about just having a button that they click and it takes them to the Arch wiki page for NVIDIA?
Oh yeah, they're gonna read.
They're gonna tell them to RTFM.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, the Arch. Go ahead.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it a bit more, if I ever created a distro, which doesn't actually seem as much as unrealistic as you may think, since I've been talking with some people about distro, well, about a whole load of things, because you know, I'm that kind of person. I have a million projects. Well, first of all, I would probably put all the drivers onto the installed rootfs and just not care.
Yeah, I think your idea of a distro will be atomic. First things first.
Also that yes. It's gonna be atomic.
Then it's understandable why you would go that route.
It's gonna be atomic. I want to have system that is actually working long term.
Yeah,
but don't worry. Currently there is no chance this distro by me will happen, since I do not have anything to add to the distro space that would actually be good and relevant for people. Yeah. That's the thing that I am looking for, something that I can add to the space, not just a reskin or something.
Yeah, let me.
Was that a shot fired at Omarchi?
Yes,
because that seemed to be the complaint.
Omarchi and many other distros.
Yeah, when I did that video a couple of weeks back, and reading the comments, so many people were like, "This isn't even a distro." It's like, well, damn, it's another pointless distro, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
I get that complaint on every single distro I look at. It's a pointless distro. Well, they're all pointless then, I guess. Right?
Well, in my opinion, Omarchi, whatever you want to call it, only reason it exists and it is this popular is because who created it, and therefore people will talk about.
Well, that's strange. People say it's popular because of the creator. I've never heard of the guy until I looked at.
Yeah, you haven't, because you're not in programming world.
Well, most people aren't. Most people that use that distro are not going to have any knowledge of Ruby on Rails, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Those people watch people like Primagen, people like TJ DeVry, and people like that. they are the ones who basically are spreading the word about it, because they are the ones who actually talk about DHH all the time, despite DHH being DHH.
Well, not to be
the
devil's advocate here, but DHH, when he initially launched Omarchy, he immediately described it as, it's my opinionated config. He didn't say distro. The only reason he is distributing it as an ISO because he wants more people to lay eyes on it and to try it and whatever. But
he wants to be easier to install, to set up.
To install, yes.
Yeah.
But he never described it as a distro. He never said it's a distro.
Every distro is a personal config for the developer. I mean, that's what Arco Linux was. That's why.
That's what Zero Linux is.
Eric Dubois, he installed 3 different web browsers on that thing. It's because he wanted to test things in 3 different web browsers, so he always had it on the ISO.
And that's what Zero Linux is. It's my distro, my way, because I think this is the best way it should be. And then when it became public, I couldn't keep it private, as in only the things I want. If I wanted to launch only to release the one made for me, it would only have what works on my computer. It would have all the packages on the ISO and be done with it. But since it became public, I started. It became something that should satisfy at least a handful of people. So I can't put my things on it to satisfy the people.
That's why if I create my own distro, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try and get Microsoft Edge on it. I want to have the best browser available.
Well,
no joke, the best browser available.
Just call it Edge OS. That's what you should do.
No, it's gonna have a better name, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna install the best browser.
No. You could call it Edge Pod or Big Edge.
Big Edge. I like that.
No, but
actually, there are names that already been floated that have nothing to do with me, because this would be a project of a team.
But I'm
just the lead engineer.
Will MS Edit be the default editor?
It is on Zero Linux.
But Nano will be.
It is on Zero Linux.
Great.
Make sure WordPad's on it.
No, but
nope. Visual Studio Code.
Seriously speaking, I've seen a lot of distros. No, not a lot of distros. A lot of users, Linux users, recently who are using Edge on Linux.
Where have you seen these users?
I've seen YouTube titles, including, I use Edge on Linux and I like it. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Look, I'm going to watch some of those videos later. I got to check this out.
I'm going to be a bit of an advocate of Edge right now. So if you do not like Firefox, because Firefox is technically broken anywhere. There are things they don't follow with standards. They don't render things correctly. Blah blah blah. They all been discussed already on a lot of things. So now I have an option of Chromium based system. So what you want is the best Chromium based browser.
Vivaldi.
So your options are Chromium, Vivaldi, Edge, Chrome, and there are a couple of others. So you want something that is heavily supported. So only really options are Chrome, Chromium, Vivaldi, and Edge. Now I use browser. Brave. So throw Vivaldi away.
Brave is definitely better than all those choices.
I don't know.
Listen.
Let's be clear. I don't trust Brave. Let's be clear. There is too much bullshit in there. So I count it under the things I don't trust. Then you have options of Edge, Chrome, and Chromium. Realistically, because they're like, but Chrome and Chromium
I do keep Chromium
use way
on my
too much
system.
RAM, so Edge is the only real option.
Well, there's also the other half of the people are using Vivaldi because Vivaldi is anti-AI. And they released a new statement recently saying, if you see us including AI, report it and we'll remove it, because they're completely anti-AI. But they do mention if the search engine like Google or DuckDuckGo have AI embedded in them, this is out of their control. But the browser itself will never have any AI elements to it, and that's a very admirable stance.
I don't think it's admirable.
I don't think. I think it's pointless.
I am an anti-AI
it's
person.
Completely pointless.
To me, that's stupid.
Yeah.
To me, that's a
like
pointless
it's a nice thing to put out there as far as a statement, because I know a lot of people hate AI, but it's a meaningless statement. Hey, there's no AI in our browser. Well, okay, unless you put it in there wouldn't be. So I guess
what I mean is they're not gonna go spend development hours to include AI in the browser. There's a lot of browsers with AI today. There's Perplexity, Comet.
They're AI browsers, yes.
Well, they're an AI company.
Perplexity,
I mean, I would
Atlas,
hope so. I mean, that's
but look.
But would I love a Chat GPT browser? I wouldn't hate it. Would I love a Anthropic browser? Because I use Claude all the time. I wouldn't hate it. These things don't scare me.
No,
Steve.
but I'm thinking. I'm talking about things like what Firefox is doing, like buttons, AI buttons all over the browser. You want to organize your tabs? Let AI do it for you. You want to organize?
I haven't seen any of that, but maybe I'm just not looking at Firefox the right way.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it.
Okay, so it's not there. I was about to say, I haven't seen any of that in Firefox because I've got Firefox installed on my system too. I sometimes open Firefox and Chromium just to do other stuff that I don't want to do in Brave, maybe, incognito, I don't want my history or whatever. Or sometimes I find different programs, web programs work, especially don't work in Firefox that work fine in Chromium-based browsers and vice versa.
Yeah, like for me, I have two browsers. I have Vivaldi and Falcon. Falcon, I use it when I want to watch Arabic videos.
That's a WebKit browser. That thing, it's got to be horribly broken.
It's not broken because all I use it for is to watch Arabic videos that I don't want to show. I don't want shown on my YouTube account.
Right.
I just use it to watch random Arabic music videos and political discussions and stuff. I don't want those to show up on my YouTube homepage. So
I've got one here called "Welcome to Browser OS," the open source agentic browser. Browser OS turns your words into actions. Privacy first alternative to ChatGPT, Atlas, Perplexity, Comet, and Dia.
That's Chromium based. That's Chromium based.
Yeah.
Great.
But it is an AI browser for you.
Pretty much all browsers these days are Chromium based. Firefox is pretty much a non-issue, and obviously WebKit is.
I asked this one too.
Unless you're a Safari lover.
Steve. Yeah, well, no.
I love Safari. I was sad when they took it off of Linux.
No,
I liked Safari back in the day when it worked.
Yeah, they don't even have a Windows version anymore.
I was going to install Safari through Wine so I could use it on my Linux computer.
Well, speaking of Wine, recently I have DVD rips that I ripped because putting in the disc. Who has a disc drive anymore? But
I do.
I keep a DVD player. An external one I can plug in.
Yeah, well, I have an external one, or else how did I rip them? But Star Trek, the original series, the Blu-rays, because it comes with the original effects and the enhanced effects.
Yeah, I still have DVDs I can, as far as movies, I still have DVDs that I can watch. So I keep a DVD player.
Yeah, I encountered an issue where I couldn't watch them because when you rip them, you either rip them into an ISO format, maintaining the size, or you rip them into a folder format. So I ripped them in a folder format because that's what I'm used to, and I don't want to go through the trouble of mounting an ISO and whatever. So I ripped them into folders, and I tried to watch them. I tried to look on Linux for a way to watch the ripped Blu-rays from folder with menu. There is no way currently on Linux to do that, to see the menus. You can watch the movie or the TV show directly watching the episodes, but the whole point of me ripping those ISOs was to be able to have the choice between the original effects and the enhanced effects. So I needed access to the menus. So the only way currently on Linux is by installing Kodi. The only thing that plays Blu-rays with menus somewhat plays them, because every time there's a switch between enhanced and regular graphics, there's a cut, and you notice the cut. It's not a smooth transition. But currently it's only Kodi. I have to install a entire home theater system to be able to watch my Blu-rays with a menu. VLC can't do it. MPV can't do it. Nothing can except Kodi. That's annoying.
It's been years since I've copied DVDs.
Nobody cares about that stuff.
But I have in past years burned DVDs with the DVD program, DEVEDE.
Right yeah, I used to use that.
And that thing was great because it would maintain, at least if I remember correctly, it maintained the menu system and everything. Like if you wanted to make a backup copy of a DVD,
yeah, you can.
It would keep the menus and everything.
Yeah, if you burn, yes, but if you want to watch from a folder or an ISO,
you're just trying to save a file on the system and watch it from that.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah,
there is no way on Linux to do so. There's only Kodi.
Yeah, I have never actually seen that. Where
now I used to go to the. Now this is way back when I used Nero in Linux.
I remember,
and I used to be able to go to the folder that Nero would make before it burned the actual DVD. I could go to that folder and watch the movie from that folder. You even find the menu part too, and it worked.
Yeah.
But he wants an interactive menu, which is kind of weird to save it to a file. That the interactive, like just saving the movie. Yeah, anybody could watch the movie from a file, but having that menu part of it is
because I discovered as I was doing my research, I discovered that in order to achieve. Oh, disconnected. Are you still there?
Yeah, we're all here.
Yep.
Hello.
You're still here.
You're gonna have to save that.
We can hear you, sadly.
Yeah. No, but I discovered through my research recently that to achieve complex menus, it uses something called Blu-ray Java menus, BDJS. In order to watch these, you will have to have a program that can read Java-based complex menus. On Linux, there's no such thing. You just install lib Blu-ray, the library. That will allow you to watch the Blu-ray directly without menus, without anything. There is no player that supports menus except
most of the time I used in the past. I haven't done this for a while. I used VLC to watch DVDs.
VLC watches Blu-ray. That's what I'm about to tell Steve.
Yeah,
VLC
no. It watches Blu-rays, but without menus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Without menus, it directly starts the movie immediately. Whereas with Kodi,
I think so, yes, but nobody cares about menus.
The whole point of Star Trek original Blu-ray is it gives you an option to select between the original effects and the enhanced effects. You have to do that from the menu. You cannot just willy-nilly watch the video file.
Why not?
Because it randomly. Here's the problem. Because I tried. And what it will do is randomly pick a video file. One episode will be the original effects. The next episode will be enhanced effects. And sometimes you will watch. It will play the same episode once with the original effects, once with the enhanced effects. So you're ending up watching the same episode twice. VLC
just learn the pattern and find the right files.
It does not. How will I know which file? The files are, because what Blu-rays are playlists, but it cannot. I tried with VLC and MPV to play the playlist. They keep giving me errors. So the only way I could do it is by telling it to open folder, play from folder, and it will directly start random episodes and stuff. I did my research. I used AI. I checked YouTube. I checked Google. I checked all over the place. Currently there is no way to play Blu-rays with menus except Kodi.
I will say this, your doctor is right. You need to get out more often. You need more exercise because you deep dive into so much stuff.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Just coming from a friend.
Dude, it's raining. I'm not going to go under the rain. Yesterday, I walked I don't know how many miles, but I walked around 6 kilometers.
Yeah, try to dodge the rain. That'll give you exercise.
Yeah. But yeah, there are. This brings me to a subject that I talked about with Chris Titus Tech on my channel. Yeah, I had Chris Titus Tech over, but the reason Linux is still difficult to adopt as a default operating system is because of things like that. There's the availability of software that people are used to. There are some softwares that don't have alternatives to them. So if you can't find an alternative, stick to the OS.
Yeah, but Steve, how many people are ripping a Blu-ray to their computer and then trying to watch it?
I'm not talking about specifically that. I'm
speaking, like it's a very tiny.
He's talking more general.
I'm talking more
general. While
I
do agree with you, the problem is that this isn't actually that much of an issue as people think. Why it is the issue, it is also not as much issue as people think. The main problem, the main reason why this is an issue is because when people present Linux, they present it like you just, I'm gonna use my own words, you just take Windows and replace it with Linux and it will work the same. And then people from that, people think everything will work as it works on Windows and everything.
Yeah,
but their programs will be there. They won't have to learn anything. But
I think that was actually a much bigger problem. I think that was a much bigger problem like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think that, because seriously, about 15 years ago, with the rise, especially the popularity of Ubuntu when it exploded on the scene, there were a lot of Linux people that tried to convince people to switch from Windows to Linux, and it's just a drop-in replacement. Everything will be there. Like that was, nowadays, I think Linux content creators are better. The Linux community is much better in terms of we tend not to just straight out lie to people and say, just come over, you'll be fine.
We still say Linux is safer than Windows, which is just a flat out lie, and people still say it. And it's a flat out lie. Yeah. And if you do not know that it's a lie, you are, sorry to say, but not critically thinking.
Yeah, this is another argument I wanted to use. There's a lot of YouTubers, for the sake of clicks, for the sake of, I don't know if it's correct to say the clout terminology, but it's for the sake of clout and clicks, they just portray Linux in a way that is not realistic. It's safer for you, and especially the people making those videos are new to Linux people, but they think of themselves as the know-it-all people who like, hey, I switched to Linux, it wasn't a problem for me. Come on, switch, follow me, switch. Linux is amazing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But again, I think a lot of that was more common in years past. Now I think it's more of the gamer crowd that's pushing Linux on.
But those are generally a lot more realistic.
Yeah,
and you know what? You're right, Big Pod. A lot of those people are somewhat tech savvy, so they're
well, I mean,
you would be surprised how gamers are tech savvy.
No, but
it comes down to the basic. All operating systems suck. Period.
Yeah.
Well, some more than others. I mean, Mac
some
OS is on a different
but they all suck.
But here's the thing.
They all suck, yeah.
For your average non-technical users, Chromebooks is probably the best answer. For your grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah, for your
I don't know.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. For example, lately, all the biggest names in tech, like I'm talking about Tech Jesus, Steve. His name Steve Burke.
Nexus. Gamers Nexus.
Gamers Nexus. Jay's 2 cents. They all advertise Bazite as the end-all, be-all distro. I contradicted them in the comments and whatever. They are tech savvy. They're portraying Bazite as a beginner, noob friendly. If they're just browsing and want to click and install games and play games, then okay.
Yes,
it might
be.
They're gamers. That's why they're going to try.
Gamers will do.
Right? They're trying a gaming distro. That's why they went with Bazite, right?
No. Tech Jesus, Gamers Nexus. They nickname him Tech Jesus because of the long hair and the beard. But
I never would have got that, Steve. I'm glad you told me. I never would have figured that out.
But Gamers Nexus, for example, he advertised Bazzite as a general OS. So
yeah, it can be just as easily.
It can be for the technical savvy people, but not for the beginner user.
No, actually, for basically anyone.
I would say for the beginner, Bazzite would work out. I mean, you may
Bazzite
have some difficulties, but you do that with all operating systems.
Most Linux distributions are general distributions. There's very few that I would say can't do anything you want them to. I mean,
they have to go very much out of the way to block you from doing things other way, and that's
no.
Doing
I'm not
other
saying
things.
it blocks.
Bazzite does nothing of the sort.
No, I'm not saying it blocks. I'm saying if they want to go do other things like the way they used to on Windows, Bazzite is not going to be very friendly. Like if they want to switch Nvidia driver because they decided to, well, they're crossing a line that is outside of what Bazzite or Bluefin or whatever were built for.
Well, that's the same with Arch too.
Yeah,
and it's the same with Debian.
Every
distro can be a real pain in the butt.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get to. Problem is, we try to tell them that everything can be done relatively the same, whereas the best would be to tell them that they have to learn. Like, there were several examples of people publicly trying Linux, and they were swayed by the idea of it's easy, it's exactly the same as Windows, where literally they were trying to do things exactly the same way as Windows, and they failed.
Yeah.
It's a new operating system you have to learn. And wouldn't it be best to give them the best option available, which, sorry for everybody who disagrees with me, but Atomic, it is the best way for those people.
Well,
because it contains them in a somewhat rail-guarded system. There is a reason why all phones, except Samsung, I believe, are Atomic. That's why iPhone is Atomic. That's why macOS is Atomic.
Yeah,
there is a reason they are all Atomic.
Well, I criticize, but a lot of new users, you know, since I'm a distro maintainer, they keep asking me, "Is your distro noob friendly?" I say no. I tell them, if you want
anything Arch based is not noob friendly.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to say. Probably not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what distro do you think I recommend to noobs?
Linux Mint.
I don't know.
Ubuntu.
If you like the Apple way, use Bluefin. If you like the Windows way, use Aurora.
You see, that's actually something I won't do. I will go the other way around.
You will go Mint?
No, I will say if you use Windows, go with Bluefin. If you use macOS, use Aurora.
No, come on, Bluefin is GNOME.
Yes, Bluefin. And yeah, exactly because of that. No. Because they look close to similar.
It's all about the theming.
Perpetuates the idea of there are things that will be the same, and like having a hard cut is actually a good idea.
Yes, but
so doesn't look the same, it will not work the same.
Visually,
I've seen people who thought that, so that's how I came to that conclusion.
But visually speaking, Bluefin visually is more akin to
that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah,
it looks like macOS. That's a problem.
Yeah, but GNOME inherently works kind of a GNOME. I'm talking about the desktop environment. I'm not talking about
yes. I get you.
It's macOS, whereas the other one is more for people who prefer Windows because they got start menu on the bottom left.
You know what? I'm
yes,
with Big
but
Bod.
that's exactly the problem.
Yeah, I actually tell people the exact opposite. I really do. If you like Windows, I tell them.
Go with GNOME if you like.
Yeah, go with GNOME. And if you like macOS, go with KDE.
Shock. Yep. That shock of having completely different looking environment will also block you from using the established thing you already know, and it will the transition will be more painful, but also on the edge cases when the old things will come back, they won't come back, and they will actually have a better experience long term.
I do agree with both of you when it comes to it being a shock and forcing them to get out of their comfort zone, and
Exactly.
And learning, activating the learning neurons of their brains. Yes, I agree with you on that end, but I'm talking about my community, which is Lebanon. The less they use those neurons, the happier they are. So I give them
Steve,
everybody's like that.
Steve, I'm going to say something controversial here, Steve. I really don't think Plasma is all that new user friendly as a desktop environment.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think it confuses the hell out of a lot of people.
Yeah, especially if you start going to tweaking stuff like your
GNOME
dark mode, etc.
Once you open the settings, you will get that. There's so many settings here. What do I do now?
I agree. And I'm a KDE user.
Like if an elderly person wanted me to wipe out Windows, put Linux on their machine, I would never put KDE Plasma on. If they're not tech savvy.
I don't like GNOME, but I would do the same thing.
Do I think some defaults of GNOME are bad? Yes. But from default usage, if you do not change anything,
people down for
GNOME
the very
is a
first
much
time.
better experience.
I've had people sit down with like Ubuntu with GNOME for the very first time. They never even looked at it before. All of a sudden, they know where everything's at. They click the button, get the browse. Like they're fine.
I agree with that.
They don't ask to change anything. Maybe the wallpaper. People that aren't computer savvy aren't trying to tweak anything anyway. So,
the aspect I'm coming from, the side I'm coming from is. If you want the start menu the same place and whatever, I can give you KDE. Okay, I'm giving it to people who are never going to touch the settings the way or customize. They're going to use the defaults as they are and not mess with it. For people who want to mess with things, I am with you guys. Definitely GNOME. Because customizing GNOME is almost a couple of clicks of a button, as opposed to KDE where you have to mess with half the operating system. And KDE in that aspect, they advertise they're customizable. They're customizable for the knowledgeable users, not for the beginner users. They have
even for such users for whom a computer is essentially an appliance. I would rather give the opposite of why they had, because they will still have certain things they're used to doing on Windows, on macOS. If they start doing the same things on Linux, they will 100% mess things up and break things.
Yeah, there's 38 different settings on KDE.
For the file manager, just for the file manager.
Not counting the sub settings.
Right.
But let's be clear. I have near me 2 users who use both Linux and Windows basically at the same time, depending on which computer they go. They don't know the difference anymore.
Well, when it
I have given them GNOME on the Basite GNOME, and they have a Windows laptop. So they don't know the difference anymore. For them, the laptop where Basite is on is a gaming machine. They just know Steam and that's it.
Yeah, I would agree with you completely that if you're going to use GNOME and you want the best experience, go with a Fedora-based system. I'm sorry, but it's better than
100%. But another thing is what I love about GNOME is I have given Arch Linux with GNOME to someone, but they don't do anything except Facebook and chat.
Why would
they
you
only
give
Facebook
Arch
and chat
to somebody?
Why would you give someone?
Hey, I'm an Arch person.
Well, I look, Steve, I understand. I'm an Arch person.
I am too.
I would never put that on somebody else's machine.
I would give people Ubuntu. I mean, plain and simple work. Yeah.
But
I would give them Fedora for a simple reason, because I used to run Fedora a lot, and I know it is actually capable. But if it was someone I didn't actually wasn't near them, wasn't capable of fixing their shit, I would probably still go with Ubuntu.
I would go Ubuntu LTS just because of the support
Unless I can ensure at least
the automatic
updates
available, etc. Well, Linux Mint.
That's true.
Maybe once every year I'll SSH into their machine and update it, but other than that, that's all we're doing. Right? So
here's the thing. The person I gave that to is my best friend. So he's got me to come to for support. And he lives like next door, like 2 buildings down.
Yeah,
so,
but you're gonna have to update it at least every week. I was
your best friend.
Right.
Well, you are one of them. Well, but the thing I put on their desktop are 3 icons. Their web browser icon on the desktop, or on the dock. I don't know if he changed it, but I put the Vivaldi because he's a Vivaldi user.
Yeah.
But
there you go.
I put Vivaldi on his desktop. I put Facebook on his desktop, and I put Telegram on his desktop. That's it.
There you go.
That's what he uses. Those are the 3 applications he uses. He never came to me complaining, and I told him to update every 24 hours. He's like, okay. I told him the command. It's UPD because it's Zero Linux.
There you go.
So, he runs UPD. In case of errors, screenshot, send me on Telegram, and I'll tell you what to do to fix it. And he has not complained. He has not
complained. Job to run once a week and be done with it.
I'm gonna say, like, the best choice I made was when I gave my parents an Android tablet as their only computer. That was the best choice I made.
Yeah. Very simple.
I would do that too.
They browse the internet, they watch YouTube videos. They don't need anything else than a freaking tablet.
I wish I can switch my dad to Linux, but unfortunately I can't because he uses After Effects. He doesn't know how to use there's no exact alternative on Linux.
Yeah, there's no good alternative for After Effects on Linux. Yes, we know.
Yeah. And he uses After Effects to render and create stuff for church. For Easter, Christmas, presentations, and for events and stuff. He uses After Effects. I wish I can switch him. He's still on Windows 10, and now that it's end of life, I want to switch him to Windows 11, but I can't because Windows 11 is a piece of shit. I don't want. And my dad, he puts a file in a folder. 5 minutes later, he forgets where he puts it. So, I have to keep him on Windows 10.
Well, why don't you like Windows 11?
Because it's ad-ridden. Every few minutes,
God. That's as much as Windows 10.
For solitaire.
Also, I haven't seen a single ad on Windows 11 that on the install of Windows 7 that I keep for editing. 0 ads. No, I literally only thing I have installed are Steam, Battle.net, and Davinci Resolve. I haven't changed anything. I haven't seen a single ad.
Well, it depends on the region, apparently, because my dad, not my dad, me, on my Windows
Welcome
11.
to Europe.
On my, and you guys have the 1-year extension on Windows 10. But for me, on my Windows 11, when I'm playing a game, because I play games on, a few games on Windows, as I'm playing, from the taskbar, use Edge, or I get please try out this game and that game, and they're coming from Explorer. So
interesting.
Yeah,
Haven't never seen this.
Maybe, welcome to Europe, as you said.
The best part of the world.
Europe is the best. Is the best place to be right now because you can also sideload applications on iOS, but outside Europe, good luck with that.
Well, I'm sure there's some geolocation going on, serving some of that to certain groups of people. It'll depend on laws too. Certain jurisdictions won't allow.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. I came to Serbia and I refused to put a Serbian SIM card in my phone. I put it in a portable router, the access point. In a portable LTE access point. Yeah. And as a result, I still receive SMS ads from Beirut. We were in the mall, my brother-in-law and me. We were at the mall, and then suddenly my watch start buzzing. I look at it, 6 ads for Skechers, for Delta, whatever, and I still receive in Lebanon. They spam you with ads, SMS ads. So yeah, there's a lot of third world countries that rely on these ads to make income as far as carriers go. But I cannot stop them. And I specifically got this LTE access point, so I keep using Wi-Fi. That way, I don't have to connect to a mall's Wi-Fi or LTE on my phone. Otherwise, I'm gonna get LTE ads.
You know, so, Steve, if you ever get your dad to switch to Linux, he won't have trouble finding his files because we have this F-search program on Linux.
Yeah,
it's really good for finding those lost files.
I installed that. Yeah.
But
or you could just use the find command in the terminal, I guess.
Yeah. Find me an alternative to After Effects, and I'll switch immediately to Linux.
Davinci Resolve.
Nope, it's Adobe.
No, that's right. Adobe hates.
Good old Adobe. Like there is rarely anything that is nearly as good as what Adobe puts out in the creative
that's
space.
true.
Photoshop,
that's true.
Premiere Pro, After Effects, Distro, and Audition. Those are like dreams compared to anything we have on Linux.
Exactly.
Right now I'm using Davinci Resolve, and I'm like, why is it so primitive compared to Premiere Pro?
Yeah, it's very complicated, very, and I was thinking of adding a way to install Davinci Resolve in the Zero Linux toolkit, but I was like, let the users figure it out. I don't want to mess with them.
I can't get Resolve to work in Arch. I've got it installed, and the dark table thing, the testing thing, that works great, and I love that. But I can't.
There's enough issues with Resolve on Linux that Steve, I would not step in that yourself. Let them do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless you want to support
it. That's
why
I use
don't
it
want
on
to support
Windows.
it.
Yeah.
There's so many ways of installing it.
I have it on Windows.
Well, there's so many ways of installing it on Linux, and every time you install it, like especially on Arch, you have to disable its built-in libraries because it still relies on outdated libraries. You have to let it rely on the system libraries instead and do this. And for an AMD, you have to go scratch your left ear with your right arm. I'm like,
no, don't forget.
It was very clearly made for a specific use case.
Yeah,
Linux.
And I remember in the beginning, it was made for a specific distro. It was made for was it CentOS?
Red Hat.
I guess all they packaged it for, right?
Yeah,
I think I know why. Right. Because my guess was there was one user, one company who requested, who had a fleet of CentOS Red Hat desktops, and they were like,
we want to use it, so right? It has a long support cycle, right?
Yeah, not because of that, because it was what was supported by, easily Red Hat. So they had that enterprise Linux systems, and they were like, can you please give us Linux so we don't have to go to Windows because everything we have is Linux? And they said, okay, for the right money we'll do it, but we'll give it to everybody. And there it was.
Yeah, but
that's why it was minimum support possible. That's that's my guess of what happened, why the Linux version exists.
I can expand on that a little bit. They support CentOS, and everybody else who tries to use it on anything else, they're not going to support them. It's to each on their own. But and people wonder. They're like, oh, Davinci Resolve is not working on my system. Why? Well, you're trying to use it outside its native environment. What do you expect? It's not going to work right out of the box.
No, it's not.
I expect Steve to fix everything. Come on.
Yeah, baby, I will fix everything.
In the beginning, they only supported CentOS, and didn't they only support Nvidia? At first, there was no AMD
There's
support.
Still Nvidia. They're still purely Nvidia. On AMD, you have to do workarounds to get it to work. And like, I don't know if any of you know Matt's Creative on YouTube. Matt's Creative had 2 GPUs in his system, an AMD GPU and an Nvidia GPU. So to use He was using Davinci Resolve on Nvidia. He was using it through Lutris, telling Davinci to load via Nvidia while he was doing all the rest of his work on AMD. Now he only has Nvidia, so Davinci will work right out of the box for him. But for people with AMD GPUs, good luck getting Davinci to work. The company only supports Nvidia. If you want to make it work on an AMD, be ready to scratch your left ball with your right leg.
Hey, don't be disgusting. Come on, we're adults here.
Yeah. You don't have to scratch anything
the right
if you use
to support
Kden
what they want.
Yeah.
Well,
or be like DT and I and use what comes with your desktop environment of choice, or use Kden Live.
I was about to say the only desktop environment that ships Kden Live is KDE, and I'm not using that. I'm not using KDE anyway. I'm using Kden Live. But
yeah. Well, I said.
Well, reality is that.
Oh.
Reality is that if you are like me, who used Premiere Pro like for honestly 10 years, it's really hard to switch to Kden Live. It's so much different, so painful. Even switching to Resolve, which is much closer to it, is painful.
Yeah,
but
like, I agree with you, because
I
in my
can't wait
case,
when I can go back to Premiere Pro.
Yeah, in my case, I never used any editor in my life. My first editor was Kden Live.
I still don't. Kden Live, I just don't understand how to start and all that stuff. It's just, I look at it.
For me, what do I do? What do I do in Kden Live? I put the video plus the audio. I just cut the ahs and the ums out. That's it.
Well, if you're doing something that simple, Steve, you could write a FFmpeg script just to do that.
I can even do that. I can even do that, or use AI.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's a great experience writing an FFmpeg script to do that, but if that's all you're doing, just merging video and audio together and clipping out dead space, like they can do that.
Yeah, your examples are right on the nose. But I chose to use Kden Live because I like to show off to my dad that I'm editing.
Now, where you want to use a real editor is if you're going to do transitions or annotations, anything like that, you need to go into a real video editor, because FFmpeg is not built for that.
Yeah, and now that I'm starting to get the hang of video editing, I started adding an intro and an outro, so that requires Kden Live. So I like Kden Live for the simple things that I do. I don't know how to add annotations. I don't know how to do anything else. I just know how to cut the dead space, fix the audio, and add an intro and an outro. That's all I do.
Well, I have a podcast to edit, so I have to have good editor.
Yeah,
I have to.
Speaking of podcasts, speaking of podcasts, Big Pod, hit me up on Discord, because I lost you. I started cleaning up my Discord. I lost you, so hit me up on Discord, because when I get back to Beirut, I'm going to work on a podcast. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be a guest. It's going to be AI. I'm just going to give it the transcript. I'm going to give it the what to talk about, the news elements to talk about, and it's going to be AI. I saw my sister using it for work, and it's so amazing. It's $20 a month, and you just and when you delete a sentence in the transcript, it will automatically edit the audio, the part where that sentence is, and remove it from the audio. It's amazing, and the natural tone that it speaks in, I mistaked it for real humans, and by default it's a female and a male. So I'm not gonna have females just because of the nature of the podcast. But it's so amazing. I want to start using it to make more interesting content on the channel. It's going to be just audio, naturally. So I'm going to have a visual of the waveform playing during the thing, and I'm going to have to use Castopod, if you would allow me, sir, through your instance.
I'm not the one to talk with.
I know it's Josh. I know it's Josh.
Talk with Josh.
Yeah,
talk with Josh.
Yeah, hit me up anyway.
I'm tech, his business.
Yeah, hit me up on Discord anyway, so I have you in the DMs. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, because AI, we make fun of AI a lot and we say we hate AI, but sometimes AI is very useful. I noticed.
Who says that? No, I haven't ever said that.
Not you.
Yeah, neither have I.
From the beginning, I've never said that. Like,
no. I've
never understood the people that have that mindset. Like, it seems weird to me. It's the same people that hated System D from the beginning. That never made sense to me.
Yeah. So in that area, I found it useful. It will allow me to create more interesting content for my channel. And I'm not I like to talk about myself. And the last live I did from here, I tried. I had 3 viewers and then everybody left. So I cut it short because I like to talk about myself. I was talking about my sickness, everything that's wrong in my body. And on a Linux channel, I was like, yeah, that's not the right thing to do. So I want to create a podcast, and I can use humor in it, and you can tailor the AI to your needs. So I'm gonna tailor it and play around with it until I come up with a final product, and it's going to be a AI generated podcast talking about all the interesting goings on in the FOSS world, and see where that takes me. Because I've noticed recently that a lot of channels, there was a channel that was only putting out wrestling clips. They were getting 3 views, 5 views, 2 views for 6 years. And as soon as they started putting out AI slop, they started getting 14,000, 50,000, 100,000 views per video, and they started making $3,000 a month. Because YouTube, no matter how much we try to advertise our content and push our content out there, YouTube still prioritizes AI slop. So I was thinking, why not?
That's an assumption there, Steve.
Is highly optimized.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you're also making some assumptions there. There could be other reasons why
to watch.
You never know why the algorithm pushes something.
No, for me, for example, I get instead of getting your videos, DT, I get AI slop on my timeline.
Well, there's a lot more of it now, but it's like everything else. This automated spam, it will eventually get to the point where it's not profitable. It's the same thing that crops up all the time. People want these get-rich-quick schemes where they want to do no work and and just put out this garbage content. This has been going on since the beginning of time. This stuff will die off. The ones that aren't doing any real work, they're not going to get anywhere.
They're not going to do anything.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, right now, if you can't beat them, join them.
No, this is just the Roel van der Paar effect. The modern Roel van der Paar. You guys remember that guy that did the 2 million videos that were all automated spam? Yeah, this is the same stuff that these people are doing.
Crap.
And it's going to lead to the same place, nowhere.
Yeah. Well,
in the end.
Except my content will be more interesting than just AI slop, a girl hugging another girl, a guy riding a motorcycle, a guy shoving a wiener, a hot dog up his nose.
I didn't know where that was going when he
I was going to be like, okay.
Like, hey, whatever you're watching.
You're crossing the lines today there, Steve.
I don't know what kind of search terms you're putting in.
That's the AI slop that I'm
I'm going to call the woke
I'm
generals.
seeing on my timeline, so I'm just talking about it. So
hey, on the AI stuff, have any of you guys... we got somebody's mic open. That's some sound bleeding through. Have you guys tried the Perplexity app on Linux?
No,
anybody
never heard of it.
Well, they have an official app image, and I've noticed it's really slow.
Yeah,
I was just wondering if anybody else has noticed it. Performance sucks on that thing.
I tried it. It's very, very extremely slow. I use Perplexity in
the browser.
Yeah, in my browser, basically. It's much faster.
Has anyone come across Gistr, G-I-S-T-R, Gistr.so website?
What is it?
Gistr, Gistr.so.
Gistr.
With a G.
Yes.
Distro.so.
It summarizes YouTube videos. It takes clips and
Chris Tech talked about it.
Yeah, I used that on one of your videos there, and it works quite well. It's very fast. It has an add-on for Chromium-based ones, and then you can save your session. If you use Firefox, you can use it, but you can't save your session. But it works really well, and it's very fast.
Not only it summarizes, it creates timestamps for you as well.
Yeah. Right.
Oh. Yeah, if you have a long podcast or a long video to make, like a log or something, you can create timestamps using that. I'm gonna start using it especially for my podcast that will come. I just need to discover how to use the thing. My sister tells me just give it your transcript, you describe the subjects and give it the sources the articles you want it to talk about, and it will do everything for you. It's just
I just uploaded Derek's video and then hit a couple of buttons and away it went.
It's called. Let me tell you what it's called. My sister sent me the link the other day. It's called Notebook. It's called notebooklm.google.com.
So that one.
Notebooklm.google.com. It creates a podcast for you. Basically, you just give it the subjects, and it will read them and then create a discussion.
Yeah, we know of that.
Do they charge for it?
Well, there is a free version you can try, but according to my sister, it's $20 a month.
Yeah, most podcast hosting is going to cost you something. They're offering it for free. They're using you in some way to make up the money.
Basically.
Yeah,
it's a large language model. So basically, they will charge you for the processing power.
Yeah.
And have you guys heard of the increase in price for flash storage because of LLM?
Yeah, there is many things that increase. RAM pricing have increased. Flash storage has increased.
Yeah,
if you have a large LLM, you need a whole ton of storage.
Yeah, so
and it needs to be fast, very fast.
So basically, we are suffering because of those companies creating
but it's a temporary suffering.
Hopefully it's temporary.
No, it is, because what it's going to do is it's going to force innovation so that we get better storage and better energy consumption. Things are going to get better because of
and really short term, they will constantly upgrade. These things will start flying the second-hand market really soon enough anyway.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, DT, I like the way you think. You look at the half full of the cup instead of the half empty.
Well, a lot of it has to do with there's not much room left to give me more.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with, just following these companies with the stock market, these companies like Nvidia and AMD for years. Like when the AI stuff first popped off in the beginning of 2023 or late 2022, I already knew it was going to be fantastic, even before a lot of these tools were available. And that's why I embraced it. When a lot of other free and open source content creators, they either ignored it or that it's going to be terrible. It's going to be Judgment Day, Terminator, the end of the world. And I was like, these guys don't even they're so off on this, and they're going to be so behind, and you're going to look silly years down the road when all of these large language models, they're being used in the workplace now in a lot of different industries. And a lot of people, you don't want to be left behind on some of this stuff.
Like I find it very problematic that they're used in workplace at this time.
Doctors are now using it. Lawyers are now using it.
These still need years of cooking. For their especially for such usages.
Mm-hmm. I agree with both of you, but like I said, there are some LLMs out there that are baked enough, not to the point of being great, but just enough to be usable in the workplace. Like my sister, like my brother. My brother has now won an award for being innovative by using AI. He's the head of the AI department now. And because of the usage of AI, the company he works for wouldn't have made $100 million in profit last year if it weren't for my brother's massive use of the right type of AI for the right job.
Well, I hope he got a bonus if it made him $100 million.
He got an amazing bonus. He got a car, basically, as a bonus. But
I hope it was a nice car.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the Porsche, what's it called? The 4x4 looking Porsche. It looks like a 4x4. Cayman.
Cayman. Ah, okay.
The Cayman, the Porsche Cayman.
All right.
He got the electric version.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the electric sports version.
Yeah.
But the AI has a place. There are some LLMs that are good enough to get your point across. Like in my case, I'm going to try this podcast AI thing. If it works, it works. It doesn't work, I'm going to stop using it. It's not like I'm going to force myself to use something that's incomplete or unusable. It's up to us to figure out what is good and what is bad. A lot of people hate on AI, not us here, but a lot of people judge AI by the cover. Just because they have an inherent hate for AI, they generalize their hate, and whatever AI that comes out, it's automatically bad. Without even trying it, without even testing it or anything, they just judge it because they hate AI.
Well, I know AI is a real thing, and it has a bright future because not too far from where I live, Meta is building a huge data center for AI.
Naturally.
They're building it out in the middle of nowhere, and they're basically building an entire town to support this data center. They're spending, I don't know, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on this.
Billions, more like billions.
Power plants. They're building subdivisions to house the people that will work in the plant. Like it's insane to spend that kind of money unless Mark Zuckerberg is sure that this money will be well spent, right? You wouldn't just piss away that kind of money.
Naturally, he's poaching all the AI professionals from Apple.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Apple, they don't have a chance in AI. That's
not anytime soon. No.
See, Microsoft and Meta were there out of the gate, and everybody else was just left behind.
Yeah. Apple is struggling to find. They advertise their own AI before they even put it in the baking oven. Before they're even mixing the recipe. They're like, oopsie, we made a big oopsie. It's costing them billions. It's costing them literal billions. And it's their fault. They're just cultivating what they planted.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're coming up at the end of the
Apple
stream here.
Had all the chance to be.
Yeah, well, I was just going to get a last word from everybody on our way out. Everybody take a minute or two, and you got anything to say? Ben, give us something. You haven't said anything yet?
Well, StormOS just had a recent release 2 days ago, and I'm still praying you look at it, Derek.
I might. I had some computer problems here recently. I wasn't able to download any ISOs or get any distro releases on my computer there for a while.
And I'll give a brief synopsis on it. We added our own file manager terminal based on Alacrity and our own launcher. So for the menu. So we've made, and we also added WMCTRL to make it a little bit more window manager-esque as well in XFCE. So.
All right. Well, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'll make a note of it, and I'll try to get to looking at that at some point because I'd like to take a look at your distro. It's been a while since
we just put out, like I said, the October version. We haven't decided what we're going to do for the November version yet, but we just put that one out. So we're taking at least a 2.5 week break. Now.
Yeah, you don't need to release a distro every 2 weeks. Yeah, give it a month.
No, we're going to take at least a 2 to 4 week break, and I'm just going to tell the guys, we don't need to be doing this, all the time. So I'm just gonna
rumor has it that you have Vim now on the ISO.
Yes, as well as we might put NeoVim in there too.
Oh, well, that'd be a good, yeah.
Yeah, I think we put that in there. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll check the packages list here, and maybe in next month's release we'll put NeoVim in there.
Very cool. Anything else, Ben?
I think we got it for this month. If I come with anything else, I'll let you know.
All right, Ben. Well, thanks for joining us. Big Pod, give us the last word.
Since I scared you before with me creating a distro, I'm going to tell you a secret. If I'm going to create a distro, I'm going to create a package manager for it.
That's the way to
very good. Very good.
Whether it be based on another, like on already existing package format, that's another question entirely. But
this
the
is
point
always,
of it will be just...
This is always how it starts with the people that, with forking and fragmentation, it always starts with, I want to build a package manager. For some reason, that's the first project people want to undertake.
Here's another thing. The package manager will only be available at the build time, not at the runtime. So you will be able to if you're gonna build it yourself, you're gonna be able to add packages using that package manager. Only system level packages. Everything else will be using a runtime level package manager like Flatpak, like Snap, like maybe Nix.
I thought that's where you were going to go with Nix.
Like a semi-pseudo immutable.
Yeah.
It's going to be fully immutable. And the package managers will be completely separated from the actual system, underlying system. Also, check out No Tax Allowed podcast.
What's the next topic?
Next topic? So we're probably going to talk about, once again, about the AWS outage.
Yeah, that was a big story.
Yeah, we're going to be adding to what we already talked about in the episode coming up on Monday. So we're going to have additional information based on their post-incident summary, where we're going to discuss things we speculated wrong and stuff like that, and probably a couple of other topics on what's going on in Linux and tech basically ever, like this week, stuff like that. Nothing out of the ordinary, just standard things.
Very cool, Big Pod.
Well,
be sure to check that out.
To it.
All right. Murray, give us the last word, sir.
One short tip. There's an add-on that you can use in Firefox and Chrome and Brave called Copy on Select. So if you highlight select in any text you're reading, it'll automatically copy it to clipboard. Can save you a little bit of work. And put in a plug for Miniconda if you're doing Python development environments. Miniconda works really well for that.
Very cool. Yeah, I've taken a look at Miniconda before. I haven't played with it too much, but yeah, I might take a look at it again if I want to play around some more with some Python.
The other thing is it's also used for non-Python. I use it in place of DistroBox. I wanted to have a Rust environment to install it, and you can download Rust in that, and I use that to do a cargo install of package rip find. Works fine. And it has all the others. Another one for C. You can have a virtual environment for C, LLVMs. It seems to do a lot of tooling. You can install Alacrity in it and Kitty and a bunch of other things as well. So I used DistroBox before, but I had to create a second environment. It was an OpenSUSE. You have to create a DistroBox with OpenSUSE inside of it. And that's a lot of extra work. This is just using the existing host system you're on, but it's getting a self-contained environment for it. So it's a lot better than using DistroBox that way.
I disagree. Exactly, because it's using a host environment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All
In
right.
DistroBox, I couldn't use sound. I couldn't use app images because it doesn't work with Fuse. So there are limitations in DistroBox as well that you don't have with this one.
Right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Murray.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else, Murray?
No, that's it.
All right. Appreciate you. Yep, Dad. Give us the last word, sir.
I pretty much have a non-Linux observation. If you come across elderly people in your life, and like given situations in grocery stores, et cetera, just remember that we're young people in sagging meat sacks that are affected by gravity, and that's all we are. So you can communicate with us. You don't have to ignore us. Thank you.
Well, appreciate the words there, Hip Dad. But you're not. Would you consider yourself elderly?
Yeah,
you would.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Because these days, as people, I guess, live longer. Like I see a lot of people in their 70s that look young, act young, and get around. My grandmother is in her 90s, and she's still hanging in there.
Well,
right? So
I'm 66, and I talked to a 90-year-old woman a few years ago, and I asked her secret. And she says, keep moving.
Oh, yeah, that's
keep
good.
moving. No matter what, keep moving.
I have noticed
Once you sit down and quit doing stuff, you're going.
Yes,
you're gone.
I've noticed the same thing. Those people that retire early because they can, and then they have nothing to do, they age quickly after that. Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
Yep. All right, thanks, Hip Dad. Steve, give us the last word. Send us out.
All right, I'm gonna send you out with a bang.
All right.
The upcoming Zero Linux version will have an option to enable the Nix package manager on Arch. So a lot of people have requested it. So I was like, who am I to stop them to not include it? They're going to include it anyway. If I don't include it myself, they're going to include it one way or the other. So I just stepped up, read the wiki on how to do that, created a script, a bash script to do it. So there will be an option in the next release to enable the Nix package manager. And look out for the next release because it's going to be a big one. So big that I have to redo the introduction video on Zero Linux because there's a lot of features coming and a lot of in-house applications going to be built into it. Nothing coming from the outside. And they're going to be specific to Zero Linux. So to answer those people who are going to ask the question, can I use this on the X and Y distro? No, they're all going to be specific to Zero Linux. If you want to use them, you better install Zero Linux. But other than that, great patron cast.
What if I fork them, Steve? What if I fork them?
Well, if you fork them and you know how to make them work on your own system, then I won't have anything against that. Of course, it's the nature of FOSS. But as they are pre-built, the pre-built binaries are going to be Arch based and Zero Linux specific because we are going to have flags in the back end that will stop them from launching on anything other than Zero Linux. But if you know how to fork it and remove that flag and use it on your own distro, then go right ahead. FOSS is FOSS. I'm never going to negate that. But if you want it ready-made and to be installable, no. They're not going to be installable out of the box. You have to fork it and compile it yourself. Other than that, great patron cast as usual. And I love the way you think, DT. This is how I like people in the FOSS world. Think about the half full of the cup, never the half empty. The half empty will only cause you headaches.
Yeah, for the most part. There's always two sides to everything. Sometimes more than two sides, actually. So,
exactly.
Yeah, appreciate you hanging out with us, Steve. Of course, my last word is thanking you guys for hanging out on camera with me. You guys in the YouTube chat, I know we didn't get to a lot of questions and comments there, but you guys are awesome as well. Other than that, I'm going to show some names here on the screen of some of the patrons. And after we show that, we're going to wave bye to YouTube. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.